Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. In understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Karim Abu Zaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose. Know your Lord. We learn about His names and His attributes. Know your Lord. What He approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that He has brought forth. Know His oneness, Lord. Know your Lord. Part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Ina alhamdulillah, wassalat, wassalamallah, wa rasulallah. I want to welcome everybody to our Aqidah class. And I want to share something with you guys. It's a shame that we have to go through this every year. But I didn't get any sleep last night. And I didn't get any sleep today either, like I normally do. I slept for 1 hour because I spent my time debating with the person in Egypt about this thing that this goes to show you that, there's a misconception. I want all non-Arabic Muslims to listen to me that's living in the West. I know that you guys have been brainwashed into believing that in order to get to paradise, you have to be Arab. Oh, yeah. They also have brainwashed you into believing that Arabic is the language of paradise. All that's garbage. Some of you have been brainwashed into believing that you have no chance of paradise because you're not Arabic. Well, that's all racism. That's ignorance. It's discrimination. It's everything filthy and foul that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam fought against. The Prophet tells us in one of his last sermons that the Arab is no better than the non-Arab. The black man is no better or lesser than the white man. And just because a person is Arabic, I want to let you guys know that don't mean that they know this religion. You'd be surprised how many Arabs are ignorant, even more ignorant than you are, because many of them, they're born into Islam and they take Islam for granted. They don't know the religion. They're too busy trying to be like you, be like what they think you are living in America. They think that you're living high off the hog here. You're rich and the land of America is paved with gold. And, a lot of them are just twisted. And you have to remember, even Allah says in the Quran that one of the most ignorant of men of people to deal with are the Bedouins anyway. They're just ignorant. Many of them are. Not all of them. But many of them are very ignorant. So I spent this morning, debating with a person over in Egypt, because this person wanted me to allow a class to be held here on the Maulid. I'm like, the what? celebrating the prophet's birthday. You guys know we don't do that garbage, right? You know, it's a shame that the Arabs have become so messed up. Remember, the prophet said Islam began with them, and they'll be the first to lose it too. You know, they're so busy trying to be feminists. Oh, yeah. In Egypt, the feminist movement is strong in Egypt, for those of you who don't know. In Egypt, that's where they allow women to call the Adhan. Oh, did y'all know that? Women are calling the Adhan in Egypt. Mm-hmm. You got women leading the prayers in Egypt too. Oh, yeah, imamas in Egypt. Women trying to outlaw polygamy in Egypt. All kind of nonsense. Egypt is messed up. That's why I ain't there. Okay? Well, I had to spend this morning with this person, letting them know, you know, we don't celebrate no prophet's birthday. First of all, you don't even know when he was born. Number one, Allah kept that knowledge away from us so we wouldn't do what you people are doing, which is what they tried to do to Jesus. You know, we don't celebrate no birthdays. You're not supposed to celebrate your own, but I know many of y'all do. And I hate, that's your business. You want to die 100 years old. You better hope you don't choke on that cake that you eat. You want to die celebrating your birthday because you think you deserving of worship? That's your business. You're going to answer to Allah. Okay? But to try to think you're going to introduce a new way of worship into this religion, One thing that Sheikh Saud talked about yesterday, and by the way, I hope you guys listened to his lecture, and I put out the shorts. Allah protects this religion. We got Muslims all over the world. We got Muslims, a bunch of reformists right here in America trying to change the Sharia. Okay? And over there in Egypt, we got Muslims, you know, who are reformists, allowing women to be imamas and call the Adhan, and now they celebrating, you know, a birthday. You know, there'll always be a handful of us that's going to speak out against what you people do. Because like Sheikh Saud said, Allah preserves and protects this deen. You know, you may introduce all kind of retarded crap into this way of life, but there'll be a Layla Nashiba or someone like me that's going to speak out against the filth you doing. And we're going to throw it right back in your face and make you look stupid. I don't care how much Arabic you know. If you don't understand that only Allah is worthy of worship, you got a problem. Don't let Zoom user in here. Y'all didn't let Zoom user in, right? Zoom user is not in here, right?
It's for my hair.
Okay, she better take care of that real quick. Because this is the weekend. This is when those kids come in here. Okay? We're going to have to get it together, Muslims, and learn to practice this deen correctly. Ain't no celebrations other. The only two celebrations we have as Muslims is the Eid al-Adha and the Eid al-Fitr. That's it. Ain't no birthday party. Not for your ugly self. And I mean ugly. You people that do that birthday stuff, y'all ugly. You want to know why you look so bad in your appearance? Stop worshiping yourself. And there ain't no birthday celebrations for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, before he died, that's one of the last words that came out of his mouth before he died. He covered his face and removed it. And he said, may Allah curse the Christians. May Allah curse the Christians. May Allah curse the Christians. He said, do not do to me what they did to my brother Jesus, making me out to be more than what I am, praising me, glorifying me in a way that only belongs to Allah. That's celebrating birthday. That's what he was saying. Don't celebrate my birthday, because that's what they did even back then to Jesus. But you Muslims in Egypt, America, UK, y'all better get it together. Don't y'all see that the war is here? It's here. It ain't leaving. Ain't nothing. Gaza wasn't the beginning. It just spread it there. And now it's spread it to Bangladesh. It's all over Africa. Oh yeah, that war getting ready to hit Egypt too. It's gonna hit America. It's gonna hit all of us. And when it happens, y'all better look at your ugly selves in the mirror and say, you brought it on yourself. Like Allah said, whatever evil befalls you as a people, you brought it on yourselves. Allah will never change the condition of a people until they change the condition of themselves. You ugly Muslim women and men who going around worshiping other than Allah, shame on you. That's a basic. So I'm just letting my students know, just because a person speaks Arabic don't mean nothing. There's going to be probably more Arabs in hell than anybody else. Don't y'all know that? Why do y'all think Allah is sending a Gog and a Magog to destroy those Arab countries over there? The prophet said because they are the first to abandon it. Abandon Islam and its truthfulness. The Gog and Magog is going to wipe them all out, kill them all, even the good amongst them, for what they doing now with this mauling and this feminism and this blending the roles of men and women, this westernization they're doing. Don't get it twisted, people. It's all about having this, the correct belief system. And like I told Brother Edward the other day when he asked the question, Sister Layla, why is it when I go to the mosque, I see men who were born Muslim, they're smoking cigarettes, they're outside the mosque. And I tell them, I said, don't you know it's haram to smoke cigarettes? And they say, yeah, well, it's just a little sin. Oh, really? That's the difference between the companions and us. Remember, we're nothing like them. I hear a lot of you Muslims, and I see a lot of you put on your Facebook pages that hadith about the 70,000. Those 70,000 that will enter paradise without being held accountable. And you got the nerve to think your twisted behind is one of them? Allah says in the Quran that most of them, the majority of them, are from the early generation of Muslims. Only a few from the last. You twisted birthday worshiping people who don't even know what La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah means, can't even pass none of my quizzes. You can't even come in here and pass one of my quizzes, but you got the nerve to think you one of the 70,000. Are you out your ludicrous mind? Keep on hoping. Okay? People commit sins. Why do people deliberately, intentionally disobey Allah? Is because they don't have true belief in Him. They don't know their Lord. They don't have the correct understanding of their Lord. They don't have enough love, fear, and hope in equal proportions. We become like the Christians with too much love. Too much love means that you don't fear Allah. Or many of us have become like the Jews. We got too much hope. Too much hope impedes your love for Allah. We got to be balanced in our love, hope, and fear of Allah. So those Muslims that deliberately and intentionally, knowingly disobey Allah, those are major sins. When Allah speaks about the major sins, when the prophet said Allah will forgive you as long as you're not doing a major sin, major sins, as Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, major sins are the deliberate, intentional acts of disobedience that we do. You know that it's a sin to smoke. You know it's a sin to fornicate. You know it's a sin to not wear hijab. You know it's a sin to celebrate anybody's birthday. But you do it anyway. That's a major sin. So if you're doing stuff that you deliberately, if you're committing actions of disobedience deliberately and intentionally, you can forget about your Ramadan fast being accepted. You can forget about any of your good deeds being accepted. Allah doesn't accept any good deeds of a person if they're deliberately, intentionally committing sins. So keep on with y'all's birthday celebrations. Happy birthday. Keep on with it. Keep on with that happy birthday. Shame on you Muslims. It's bad enough that you degrade yourself and you degrade your children and you degrade the rest of humanity by worshiping them. But now you done took it to a whole nother level when the prophet's last words right before he died was, may Allah curse the Christians. Do not do to me what they did to my brother Jesus. May Allah's curse be on you. That's what the prophet said. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. So shame on you. And if any of these Arabs come to y'all telling y'all it's all about celebrating the prophet's birthday, it's a good deal, y'all know that them people are crazy. They got issues. Those the people that got women leading them in prayer probably too. Feminism, homosexuality. Be careful of them people. All right, so let's get to today's class. That's why this class is the most important class that we teach, because the more you get to know about your Lord, the closer you become to him. The closer you become with your Lord, the more fear of you become of his punishment. And the more you learn about the prophet, the more you love him, respect him. You would never disrespect him by disobeying him with this imitation of the kafir. Because that's what it is. You want to know what an imitation of the kafir is? You know, wearing colors is not imitating the kafir. Piercing my nose is not imitating the kafir. But celebrating birthdays is. Don't get it twisted, Muslims. Wearing makeup is not imitating kafirs, because the prophet's wives did all of that. Wore makeup, piercings in their ears and stuff and all of that. But what they didn't do is worship anyone or anything other than Allah. They left that garbage to the kafirs. All right. So today we're going to continue to walk down this path to trying to understand our relationship with Allah. We've talked about how Allah created us with one purpose, and that purpose is to worship him alone, not the Maulid, not the prophet, not yourself, not your children with this birthday junk. We were created to worship Allah alone. And that's a jihad. That's a struggle. That's a test. It's hard to worship and love and be devout to something that you can't see, that you can't touch, okay? That you can't even hear. That's the jihad. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said numerous times, the road to paradise is paved with thorns. It's not easy. Anything that comes easy to you, 9 times out of 10, it ain't good for you. The path to hell is easy. It's easier to worship something other than Allah because you can see your children. You can see yourself. It's easier to imitate another people in worship. You see the Christians doing what they do to Jesus that the prophet said don't do to him. So it's easy for us to say, okay, we're going to be like them. Everybody else doing it. Let's just imagine how we think the prophet was born, what day he was born, and we're going to worship him. We're going to decorate our house, the mosque. We're going to sing songs. We're going to make eggnog, apple cider, and talk about the prophet like they do Jesus. Yeah, it's easy to imitate because we see other people and their perceptions of what they believe Allah is and who they believe Allah is. The Christians believe that Jesus is Allah. The Jews believe that Ezra is Allah. So we Muslims got to believe in something too, other than Allah, the one, the only, our Lord. So yesterday we spoke about how hard it is. So let's start today's lecture off with a quiz from yesterday. Let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Yes, people here, let me see. Rumble, can y'all see me? I didn't even hear the beep. So I guess everything's good on Rumble. And, I guess I spoke too soon. There's Rumble, y'all. Let me see. What I'm going to do, since I have more followers on Rumble now, I'm looking. Oh, wow. You're going to answer to a lot. Woo. I got 31 followers on Rumble. That's pretty good, guys, considering I didn't have any last month. And how many people are in there listening now? Okay, I'm going to keep my cell phone. So in case that person comes back, because they said they had a Christian that was in there yesterday typing, I'm going to stay logged in. Y'all see? This is Rumble. Look at that Kareem Abu-Zaid. He in all my stuff, ain't he? That's because I'm using his books. Only reason why I got Kareem Abu-Zaid's picture everywhere, guys, is because y'all need to know who you're learning from. You learn that these books are all written by him. But this is Rumble. It looks just like YouTube, don't it? Is that me? Hey, Layla. Let's see the lag, y'all. It's lagged because it ain't showing me waving yet. It's lagged. Well, anyway, I'm going to keep it on there. And that way, if that Christian comes in, I'll take care of him or her, whatever it is. Because they say we got a mad Christian on that keeps harassing the people on Rumble. And I'm going to make some of you guys, I don't know you guys on Rumble, but I'll work it out some type of way. Let me set this here so I can see. Yeah, I can see you guys. All right. Okay. So now let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Yeah, I can see. Oh. Okay, hold on for a minute, y'all. They're telling me. Uh-oh. Here we go. I'm going to get him. Oh, that's him. Okay, I got him. Hold on. Let's ban him. Oh, my fingers are too big for this. I got him. It said removed. Is that banned? I banned him. See, it looks just like YouTube, guys. Looks just like YouTube. Okay, he said, you said I got him? Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to still stay in here in case somebody else comes, okay? I'll just keep the Rumble open. I'm in there. Okay, let's get started. Let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. I got the little Christian. What a crazy name he had, too. Walaikum salam. Okay, I see you, sister or brother Tutia. Walaikum salam. You're on Rumble. This is Rumble, guys. If y'all see, can y'all see her typing in the stream? Sakina, Sally Mata.
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, y'all see her? So look at the green button. That's Rumble. So if you see another Christian coming there acting crazy, if y'all can see her, then that means y'all can ban her. So you can see. I'm gonna take that down. Let me see. Y'all can see her still?
We only can see her when you put her.
Oh, y'all can't see her. Layla. Y'all can only see if I share. Okay. I'll handle it. I'm in there to talk to you. May Allah bless you. I'll keep my eye on Rumble. Okay. Because I'm logged in there. Okay, I'll make some moderators. I'm gonna need some moderators for Rumble. Okay, let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen for tonight's discussion. And yes, the sister's asking me, do I have the Q&A? Yes. Tonight what country you in? Oh, you're in South Africa. Okay, she said she's going to be joining from South Africa. She got some questions. Yes, my Q&A, Ask Sister Layla Live, is at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're going to get some sleep now? Okay, she says she's going to get some sleep and she'll be back because she's got some questions from the sisters in South Africa. Okay, I'll be here, inshallah, long as I don't fall out my chair and hit my head on a piece of cornbread and die. Y'all know how that happens. It happens. Okay. All right, let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And you guys have a quiz I'm starting it off with for today to cover what we discussed yesterday. Before we get to the quiz, I did post the pages up. Today, we're going to be covering pages 21 in the book, Know Your Lord. And by the way, for those of you who have not yet purchased the book, you can buy the book from Amazon. Go to Amazon.com. The book is only $18. Okay, $18. Know Your Lord. That's how the book looks. It's green. That's it. Okay. And so today we're going to speak about the cultural view behind seeing Allah. But before we get to that, let's look at the quiz to cover what we discussed yesterday. I want you guys to look at this question. True or false? Allah is everywhere. True or false? Allah is everywhere. True or false? What do y'all think?
False. False. False.
Does anybody think it's true? MashaAllah, everybody got that right. Good job, Sister Tutia. MashaAllah, that's my Rumble sister. She said false. Exactly, this is false. Good job, Brother Marard. This is false. Allah is not everywhere. And I want you guys to understand, these same people, those same people who are telling you that you should celebrate the Prophet's birthday, these people, many of them believe that Allah is everywhere, that Allah is sitting right next to you. This is not true. We talked about that. Allah is above his creation. That's one of his names. Allah is the Most High. Allah is the Most High. He's above his throne. So anyone that tells you that Allah is everywhere, this is wrong. But believe it or not, as we talked about yesterday, most people believe he is everywhere. This is what the Christians believe. This is what the Jews believe. And unfortunately, a lot of Muslims believe that too. What about this question? True or false? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Allah. He's the only one that saw Allah, particularly on his night journey. Is this statement true or false? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Allah on his night journey. True or false? People in my Zoom said false. Good job. Anybody else that think it's true? Good job, Tutia. Good job. This is false, guys. And you will hear a lot of Muslims reference this. You will hear a lot of Muslims say that the Prophet did see Allah. He saw him when he went on his night journey. That's a lie. That's a lie. As Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, anyone who says that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Allah on his night journey, they are a liar. Okay? That hadith is Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. So I don't want to hear none of you saying that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Allah. This is false. What about this? Only the righteous people can see Allah in their dreams. Is that statement true or false? Can a righteous person can see Allah in their dreams? True or false? Go ahead with your answers again. I couldn't hear.
Everybody said false.
False? Okay, is there anybody that thinks this is true? MashaAllah, this is false, guys. Good job. This is false. This is false. You hear a lot of people, especially those people that are celebrating the Mawlid, the birthdays, when we don't celebrate birthdays, not of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yourself, or anyone else. 9 times out of 10, those are the people that's going to tell you, oh, you can see Allah in your dreams. He'll come to you in the form of a bird. He'll come to you in the form of a unicorn. Oh, I had heard this. I heard some famous man saying that if you dream about unicorns, you're dreaming about Allah. Can y'all believe that? This is false. What about this? True or false? Everyone will see Allah on the day of judgment, none excluded. Everyone will see Allah on the day of judgment. Is that statement true or false? What do y'all think about that?
False. False. False.
Let me wait for the answers on YouTube. YouTube, Rumble, LinkedIn. By the way, we're streaming on LinkedIn too. True or false? The people on LinkedIn type in English. I can't understand whatever that script is you're using. In fact, they don't even look like Arabic. What is that? Bangladesh? I'm not from Bangladesh. I don't even look Bangladeshi. Although I do have 1%. I got 1% Bangladesh in me, but I don't look Bangladeshi. So type in English. Exactly. This is false. Good job, brother. It's okay. He's apologizing. Good job. Yeah, I couldn't understand what you were typing. Okay, good job. This is false, guys. As Brother Marar typed here, seeing Allah is a reward that's reserved only for the people of paradise. Allah will only, this is a basic aqidah. Allah will only reveal himself to the people of paradise. The unbelievers will never see Allah. Okay, one of the brothers here said he didn't know that. No, yes, no. He said, I thought that everyone knows. Allah will only reveal, he will remove his veil and reveal his face to the people when they enter paradise. The people of hell will never have that pleasure of seeing him. In fact, there's a hadith whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the unbelievers will be dragged by their faces and thrown in hell. Allah's not even going to look at them. He's not even going to speak to them. And that's another class I teach about paradise. Remember, guys, we're the only group of people that will be divided into 3 categories. The other people will be divided into 2. Either they're a believer or they're an unbeliever. The unbelievers will not even be judged. They will not pass go. They will not collect $200. They will be dragged by their faces and thrown in hell. That's it. Allah ain't even going to look at them, speak to them, none of that. Okay? All right? Yeah, that's another class I teach here. You can go to the my YouTube channel, look for the playlist that talks about paradise and hell. I go into great detail about it. Okay. All right. Next question. That's the last question. Okay, so now we get to the topic. Just as we talked yesterday about how Muslims, we all know and we all understand that Allah cannot be seen in this world. And by the way, any Muslim that believes that he or she can see Allah, your aqidah is not correct. And if you were to die believing that, you're going to go straight to hell. I'm sorry. All your good deeds in vain. It's the Jews and the Christians that believe that Allah can be seen in this world. And that's why I like the class that Dr. McBride is teaching. And by the way, for those of you who have not bought that book, for those of you who are new to Islam and still have doubts, you still have questions in your heart about Jesus being Allah or the Son of Allah, or you have doubts and questions about whether you can see if God were a man. Y'all remember that stupid song of the 80s? I'm an 80s girl. I'm a Madonna material girl. I'm an 80s. The tea from my best friend to tell you, hey, and don't talk about fame. David Bowie. But anyway, let's get to this. They had a song in the 80s that said, if God were a man, oh, heck no. That ain't happening. How many of you watched the series on Netflix called Lucifer? The black man came down and he was God. And he wanted to give up his position. Oh, that's all garbage. Christians make up all kind of ludicrous stuff about Allah. That's why they're kafir. And one of the things that they believe is that Allah can be seen in this world. They believe that Allah can take on the appearance of things and come down here and talk to you and all that nonsense. But as Muslims, this is important. This is very important. As Muslims, we are forbidden. Let me make this screen larger so y'all can see the PowerPoint more so than me. I got some brothers in here. I don't want these brothers screenshotting, taking pictures of Layla's face. That's why ain't no smiling. No smiling on the camera for Layla. So when you brothers screenshot, this what you gonna get. Oh, the brother here said, I took a screenshot too, Layla. You making that face. Okay, fine. Oh, no smiling. As Muslims, we are forbidden from imagining Allah at all. One of the number one questions I get from brothers and sisters when I teach my class on how to pray like I'm teaching, A lot of you brothers and sisters will ask me, Sister Layla, I'm having a hard time imagining that Allah is there and he's standing before me. You ain't supposed to imagine that Allah and how he looks. You're supposed to imagine that you are standing before an entity greater than anything you can imagine. You're not supposed to picture in your mind how Allah looks. How many of you have heard that? Oh, my kushua is off. I'm having a hard time concentrating because I'm imagining what type of hands Allah got. I'm a picturing a man's. No, it's haram to do that. We cannot picture or try to equate Allah to his creation. We can never try to liken Allah to his creation. So when we talk about kushua or concentration during a prayer, that's to imagine that you are standing still in the presence of something so great that you can't imagine how it looks. You're in the presence of a being, an entity so powerful that there's no way you can imagine. So all you can do is just think about how you want to talk to that entity, how you want to let that entity know, even though I can't see you, even though I can't imagine you, I love you, I fear you. That's kushua. Y'all understand? Don't get it twisted. Okay, that's shaitan, your personal jinn, trying to take you down to the dark side. Oh yeah. We have to avoid the dark side. So, as Muslims, we're forbidden from even imagining Allah. But these people, the Christians and Jews, they have distorted and they have made unsubstantiated claims concerning the essence of Allah. You guys heard of Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc claimed she saw God. God made her do it. And there's so many other people throughout history that claim that they saw God, that God was a man, that God was a beautiful man, and all of this other stuff, or a beautiful horse, a white dove, all of this stuff. For example, look at what it says in their book. In their book, Genesis, it says, and they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool part of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of their Lord God amongst the trees. Oh, come on. This is garbage. Adam and Eve, they never heard Allah walking around in no garden. You want to know the true story of Adam and Eve? Read the Quran. That's why the Bible, we believe in the original Bible, but the original Bible does not exist. Allah said that he destroyed it. Allah tells us in the Quran, whenever he sent a book of revelation, he destroyed the previous books. So what do you mean? Allah is walking around in a garden and they could hear him. Also, they have other things they say like, and the Lord appeared to him by the oaks of Mamre as he sat at the door of his tent in the heat of the day. He lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men were standing in front of him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent to meet them and bowed himself to the earth and said, "O Lord, I have found favor in your sight. Do not pass by your servant. Let a little water be brought forward and wash your feet and rest yourself under the tree." Oh my God. Come on, guys. You think Allah needs you to wash his feet? I mean, come on. This is the nonsense. And Dr. McBride has already talked about this stuff. He covered Genesis. in his classes. That's why I tell you Muslims, y'all still need to join. Y'all still need to come to his classes because he's teaching you how to refute. He's teaching you how to refute the garbage that is spewed about Allah as the creator. Okay? So Islam is the total opposite of that. We are not supposed to imagine anything like that happening because the Islamic representation of Allah is based on concrete and reliable, clear evidence that's revealed without distortion, interference. It ain't about no man, as we learned from Dr. McBride. See how I'm using his stuff? I don't read the Bible, but see how I'm learning from Dr. McBride? Our information about Allah did not come from a man who was riding on a horse and fell and hit his head, named Paul, or named Ibn Abbas, or named Umar, or Abu Bakr. Our Prophet Muhammad wasn't riding on a camel and fell and hit his head. Okay? Our stuff is based on evidence, and that's what separates us, the Muslim, from the Christian and Jews. We're all people of the book, but we are the true believers. We are the chosen ones. They are kafir. Unless they convert to Islam, hell will be their abode because their idea of Allah is distorted based on hearsay and not evidence. We are a people of dalil. Everything we say about Allah, his angels, his books, his laws, his rules are based on evidence from him. Listen to what Allah says and the interpretation of the meaning. And certainly our messengers, meaning the angels, they came to Abraham with good news and they said peace to him. And he said peace to them. And he did not delay in bringing them a roasted calf. But when he saw that their hands did not reach for the food, he began to distrust them and became fearful of them. And that's when they said to him, fear not. We are angels sent by Allah to the people of Lot. So here, you can see in this verse, Allah is telling us about Abraham, alayhi salam. The angels came to him in the form of 3 men, 3 handsome men. And being the hospitable host that he was, he told his wife, fetch some food so we can serve our guest. But when he saw that they didn't eat, that's when he said, uh-oh, maybe these are 3 men who've come to rob me. And that's when they let him know, no, we're not men. We are angels sent by Allah to your nephew's people to destroy them. They were sent to destroy the people of Lot. And you can see how they said peace to him first. See how Allah had those angels handle that. Give him the greeting of peace so he won't be uneasy about you. And then when he serves you food and see that you don't eat it, let him know who you are. Okay? So everything that we say is based on evidence. It's not based on hearsay from a person that fell off a horse and hit his head who never met Jesus. Okay? Or contradiction here and there like the other people have. And as you can see, Abraham, alayhi salam, he's a prophet that we all believe in, the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims. However, Allah lets us know that he sent the angels to be messengers for him. Allah did not come down and sit and talk with Abraham. Like that other verse from Genesis said, That other verse said that God took on the form of a man and all. No, Allah sends the angels. And we're going to talk about what it means to believe in the angels. The angels are the messengers of Allah. If Allah wants to reveal something to a prophet, and there will be no other prophets, by the way, he would send the angels, Jabril, Michael, Israfil, or whatever. He'll send an angel as his messenger. Even with Moses, alayhi salam. Listen to what Allah says about him. He says, when Moses arrived at our appointed time and his Lord spoke to him, Moses said, "Oh my Lord, show yourself to me so that I can see you." And Allah answered him and said, "You will not see me." So this verse shows that even Moses, alayhi salam, he never even saw Allah. Allah has never manifested his true self to any prophet or any messenger. That is reserved for the day of judgment. Now, on the day of judgment, after everybody has been judged and the people have taken their places in paradise, that's when Allah will remove the veil and we'll all see him at that same time. Remember, guys, Allah, he's unique. He is the creator. He created us in his image. What does that mean? That does not mean that he created us to look like him. By the way, what's the source of this? Sahih Bukhari. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said that the prophet said, our Lord created us in his image. But that does not mean what the Christians believe it means. When Allah says, I created you in my image, what he means is I created you the way I imagined and willed you to be. The way we look is what Allah wanted us to look like. That's why there is no racism in Islam. Allah made us different colors. Allah made our eyes different. Allah gave us the different languages. He created us in his image. He created us as he willed us and wanted us to be. Ibn Abbas explains that. And that's why I tell you, brothers, y'all got to get up off of the scholar books and get back to the hadith books. Nobody understands this religion better than those companions. You know, y'all need to learn what Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, and all them other companions had to say. Instead of talking about what these four imams said, what Ibn Taymiyyah said, what Ibn Qadir, we love those brothers. We love them all, but I'm sorry, they're not the companions. Y'all need to start basing y'all information on the companions. Because that's those Maqasidic, that's the Maqasid, that's the higher aim correct view. Again, Allah tells us in the interpretation, the meaning, there is nothing like him. Nothing that he created resembles him. His hands are not like our hands. His eyes are not like our eyes. His feet are not like our feet. And we're not even supposed to try to imagine them. Okay? Again, Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, there is none co-equal or comparable to him. Y'all remember the song, nothing compares to you. She became Muslim and she died. Nothing compares to Allah. Not you, not me, not Jesus, nobody. Okay? So the Jewish and Christian teachings on Allah are confusing because they like to equate him to human interpretation. And their interpreters base it on incomplete and distorted scriptures, like I said, from a man that fell off his horse, Paul. Okay? And a lot of the Muslims ask Sister Layla, well, when did we Muslims start this? Now, remember, the companions of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were upon the correct belief system. So were the second generation of Muslims. So were the third generation of Muslims. So when did the Muslims deviate away from not imagining or not likening Allah to be as his creation? Well, understand, guys, and we're going to go into a lot of detail about that in this book. When Islam spread throughout the Persian Empire, we had a man named Ibn Sina. Ibn Sina, he was one of the biggest, worst innovators. Okay, he mixed a lot of Roman philosophy, European philosophy with Islam. That Darwinism and stuff like that, he mixed it, integrated into Islam. Okay, the Christians had statues and images of old white bearded men depicting God in their places of worship. Well, believe it or not, Ibn Sina combined all this crap and he mixed it with Islam. And that's why we got these Sufi or the Mu'tazila groups that try to imagine Allah as a man, imagine Allah like his creation and all that crap. You know, remember the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we Muslims, we will imitate the Christians in everything, to the point where if they crawl into a hole like a lizard, we'll go right behind them. Well, that's where this distorted view of Allah came from, and our for some of the people that are upon innovation here in Islam. Remember, guys, Allah tells us in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, vision perceives him not, but he perceives all vision. He is the subtle and the acquainted. What does this mean? Allah is telling us that the human mind is limited in specific areas, one of which is the visualization of Allah. Even if we wanted to imagine how he looked, we wouldn't be able to do it. The mind tries to picture Allah and certain aspects of him, but this is ambiguous. Okay, we will never imagine him as he truly is. Now, that doesn't believe that we won't see, that doesn't mean that we won't see Allah on a day of judgment. But the reality is no one will see him in this world. We will never see Allah until after we die. As the Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith we went over yesterday, the source being Sahih Muslim, he said no one will see Allah until after he dies. That day will come, but it's not going to come in this world. Okay? So, to avoid making the same mistakes that the Christians made, this is why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade us from even attempting to equate Allah with us. He said, when you have those type of thoughts, when you find yourself wondering what kind of eyes Allah has, what kind of hands he has, does he have a beard or not? He said, say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, because this is from your personal jinn trying to take you out of belief. So whenever any of you start to imagine how Allah looks, say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim and blow air over your left shoulder 3 times. And that'll take that away. And also, the Prophet said, don't ponder or try to imagine what Allah looks like. He said, instead, reflect upon the blessings of Allah. But don't reflect upon his essence. Look at the good things Allah has done for you, the good things he's given you, but don't try to picture how he looks, how he talks, or any of that. Also, the Prophet ﷺ said, reflect deeply on the creation, but do not reflect upon the essence of the Creator, because his essence can never be known other than to believe in it. That's our test in this world. Remember, our souls, before Allah had the angels blow our soul into our mother's womb, our soul is up there. Our soul was up there with Allah, like all the other souls. Okay? But when we're blown into our mother's womb, we forgot everything that happened up there. Okay? But we know that whatever happened was good. We know that the creator of us is good. He's clean. He's wise. He's merciful. And so the fitra within our heart when we come in this world is always looking to find its way back to Allah, even though it can't remember up there. But all it knows is it was a good place. I got to find my way back home. So ponder the blessings Allah has given us in this world, the good thing he's done for us in this world. Don't try to think about how he looks. Live our lives obeying his commands. Live our lives doing the things he commanded us to do, and find our way back to him. When those thoughts start coming about, I wondered, is he a man or is he a what? Does he look like he's half cat? Say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim and blow 3 times over your left shoulder. And keep it moving. All right, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. And by the way, this is why we don't argue. Brother Edward, you got a good point. This is why we don't argue with the Christians. Because unless your faith is sound in your heart, like Edward is saying, they can take you back. The Christians can cause you to question what you learn here. The Christians can take you back to that point where you are imagining how Allah looks. So that's why the prophet said the people who Allah will not even look at on the day of judgment are the debaters. And this is a problem because 95% of these famous people on YouTube are debaters. Allah hates the people who debate this religion. He's not even going to look at them. He's going to have them dragged by their faces and thrown in hell too. Because all that debating, all it does is put questions in the heart of the weak Muslims. And believe it or not, guys, most of us are weak. The fact that the prophet said that there'll be more of us in hell than paradise because we didn't pray our prayers, we didn't fast Ramadan, we didn't wear hijab, that shows we're weak. So listening to those people debate with Christians, it's going to weaken you, especially if you come from a Christian background. It's going to make you go backwards, not forward. I can tell who the debaters are. I had to get on one of my relatives. One of my relatives, he doesn't do it now, but I had to get on him because one of my brothers was sitting around debating and arguing with the kafir, the Christians, the apostate Christians. And you could tell, because whenever he spoke to a Muslim, he would say, the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. I had to tell him, don't talk to me like I'm some kafir. Where's your Arabic? You know the Fusha. You speak Arabic fluently, the dialect of the Prophet. But you're sitting here in the presence of Muslims talking to us like we're kafirs. See how the kafirs and gave you dawah. See how the kafirs and took you backwards. It finally registered, because now my brother doesn't do that no more. He stopped debating with them kafirs, thank God. Whew. We don't do that, guys, because they will weaken you. All right, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Any other questions, Brother Edward, or anyone else? Did that answer that? Yeah, stay away from that, Brother Edward. And by the way, guys, the link to that book is drmcbride.com. And let me remind everybody, in 20 minutes, we have the history of Palestine. So we're going to take a break. It's time for me to pray. We're going to take a 20-minute break. I'm going to close this video out, but I will log back on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is what? Yeah, 20 minutes. I'll log back in with Brother Youssef. We're going to continue with the history of Palestine. So I'm closing out, but I'll be back on in 20 minutes, inshallah.